White in chess is not easy. It's difficult. It's easy to confuse different plans. So today I'm going to try to explain how you should think about chess. I'm going to give concrete examples from this game between Caro-Kann and Larry Christiansen, also from the senior championship. It's a rich game filled with many strategic concepts, but also with many mistakes. So we get to both see good concept, bad concept, and applying the wrong concept at the wrong time, or the right concept at the wrong time, or the wrong concept at the right time. Who knows? Let's go into it. I promise you will learn something about chess strategy from this game. Caro-Kann starts with e4, natural move, taking place space in the center. Larry Christiansen plays the Caro-Kann, getting ready to play d5, taking his place in the center as well. And this is all standard theory, and e5, the advanced variation, is nowadays the main line in the Caro-Kann, no doubt about it. Somehow we have realized that chess has evolved, and earlier we thought that okay, black just get his bishop out, which he does with this move, and he's fine because he'll play e6 and he will only have good pieces. But, and this is what we realized, space matters more than we thought. So getting a space advantage, which white got with e5, is a bigger advantage than was previously thought in chess understanding, chess thinking, and so e5 is just the main move now, and that's also what the Caro-Kann players fear for sure. Okay. Knight d2, that's a sideline. If you don't like the sharp lines after knight f3, or the even sharper line of knight c3, which is probably unsound, then knight d2 is a easy to learn, simple line. You just put your knight here. The thing is, it's not completely sure in the short variation with knight f3 that the knight belongs here, but it's easy to play, it's easy to learn, and you can start more or less playing it immediately. White is immediately clamping down on c5, and this knight was a little bit clumsy, so it would not mind being exchanged or jump in here with the pawn gone at some point. All these moves are natural. Black is developing as well. And h6. So black's pride and joy is this bishop, and he would like to preserve it. Of course, white could exchange it and then it would be gone, but that would more or less be maybe a little bit too easy, because this one is also what the bishop that white hopes one day will be a strong attacking piece, and it has great influence on both sides of the board. And in general, that's another sort of thing we have learned over the years, is that bishops are better than knights in most positions, so missing a bishop is a bigger problem than missing a knight. Also because the bishops are colorblind, and you lose a lot of firepower on the white squares when you lose this bishop. When this bishop is gone, the bishop on f5, then f6 suddenly is making this square weak, which in the French is always protected by the bad bishop on c8. Castle, all natural, putting the knight, and black is preparing to put the knight here and the bishop here and castle and so on. White starts with another plan, taking more space on the queen side. Usually black's counterplay would come on the queen side. He could also come on the king side with f6 or d5 or something, and then even in both aspects, a4 is a good move, taking squares on king side, getting ready maybe to attack on the queen side if black decides that the king's address should be on that side. Bishop f5, a5, continue the and bishop e7 and c4. And we also see that with the pawn here, this this square has been taken from the knight. So for instance, if we was to take here, you would usually like to play knight b6 to d5. It's not possible in this situation, and white does have there is this square, there are a weak pawn on d4, but there is also a clear space advantage, and black is cramped, and I would prefer to be white here. White has scored well in this kind of position. c4 castle, and usually black plays a6 to avoid this move, which is a little bit annoying because the white squares are, and this is actually a little bit of a funny situation where this bishop is now the dominant force on the queen side because this guy has left the house. On the other hand, white would really like the knight to be here instead, because that would be a great square for the knight. Rook c8, and bishop f4, overprotecting here. You're being quite wary that sometimes this can get out of the way, and bishop c2 would win a piece. And I should stop doing that. So black starts to become active here, and this is this is very aggressive. And of course, Larry Christiansen, he's getting older, but he is an attacking player, and he needs to fight for squares in this situation. By the way, I really liked his book, Storming the Barricades. And in my younger years, I used to play a lot of blitz with Larry. It was always fun because it was always wild games, and he was always attacking, and I was trying to be positional, and it was kind of interesting. They say about Larry Christiansen that when he stands in a bad position, when he get a bad position, his pieces start wandering towards the opponent's king, and I can assure you that's correct. Anyway. Black is making his first for counterplay. It looks a bit. I thought the idea was more to play g4, but that also looks a little bit. Anyway, no matter what, white must be better in this kind of position. He has more space. He has active pieces, and black has as many weaknesses as white. And bishop c3, prevent any kind of trouble here with this idea. Oops, that was supposed to go this way and not this way. Still, maybe rook c1 would have been fine, and saying, okay, if he takes, I take with the queen, and I'll get my queen down here, and this could be this is where you want to attack basically. But okay, white is with bishop c3, he sort of manifests the advantage. Bishop g6, the idea is actually very clear here. You probably want to play this move. I think the easy way to parry this is just to play h3. There are many things. First of all, it prevents this move. Second, it does prevent this move as well, which could sometimes be annoying. So bishop d6 looks like it creates some harmony, but after h3, I'm sure that white is much better. Instead, he played a slightly other move. He didn't like this. Maybe he was planning this move, but he played this move, which looks weird. The idea could be this move to get rid of this so-called good bishop here. I'm not sure it's that good of a bishop actually in this position. So I'm not really a fan of this move. And black decides to back, but I think maybe he could go g4 here. That would be what I really wanted to play if I was the big question is, of course, can you do something here? If for something like this, must be fine for black. That must be, black is sort of compact and has chances to attack, and white's king can get into trouble. So this looks nicely for black. The big question is what happens after something like e takes, which must be the best move. The rook must take. There's this pawn is hanging, and And what about here? Can you do anything? Well, something like this doesn't look good, because after this move, again, black is very compact, and bishop d6, and this, I think black is fine here. These pieces are not contributing to the position anymore, and maybe black is even better here. So this is looks natural. Okay, let's back it up. He didn't play that, and play this, and maybe here he is getting older, because Caro-Kann used to play as actively as possible, but there is a tendency when you get older to start to play slightly more passive. I've noticed that in myself. That's why I actually started to play more aggressive openings, just to sort of counter this tendency to want to play a little bit too much around. So like, and take, bishop take, and of course it's hanging out, but the bishop is not really good here, because it's this pawn is pretty much protected, and you in general don't want to part with this bishop. Okay, knight e5, natural move. You could also say that, okay, I'm probably better here. I can even play h3, just rule out any d4 stuff and be better. I can even improve my position. Knight can go back, queen can go up, rook can be connected, and at the suitable time I'll play knight e5. This bishop is annoying. It cannot be dislodged from b5 and so on. So this is a little bit impatient. And I don't like taking with this. This must be better. I think this position is interesting, rich strategic position. Black has this one. This one looks slightly strange, but this knight can come here. But I think this is an interesting position. It's probably better for white, but it's not like a slam dunk better. It's there are many potentials, and I'm sure that enterprising black players would be able to get something out of this. So in general, if you want to think here, you prefer to, unless you can do something concrete right now, you will rather preserve the bishop than the knight. Rather preserve the bishop than the knight. That's a concept here. Okay, he didn't do that. He took with the and played knight c5. Was the plan all along. Looks good. If he takes, then b takes, and both the bishop will be bad, and this will be excellent, and so on. But of course he does not take and improve the pawn position of black. He plays knight d4. There's a hole here. There's a weakness here. There's a great knight here, and in general, this f file here is not really something. This guy looks okay. And this one looks okay. This could be a troubled knight. Still, you have to think where's the counterplay coming from. White does have the bishop pair, still have more space. There are potential attacking points on the king side. Rook c7. I can't really say much about that. It's a natural move, defending here, getting ready to put the rook here and have attack down the f-file. Natural move, maybe preparing this move as well, and the computer doesn't like it, but it's kind of a human move. It can't be that bad. Rook ad1, centralizing, and that's usually, and taking control over this square, which was at some time the knight could jump in and could be annoying. Not a big thing. I think the computer like b4 still is natural to play rook d1. I think it's queen c8. It does put some pressure on. It looks like a good move, right? It puts some pressure on here. It defends here, and it's attack here. But I think this was the time to get rid of your worst place piece Very strategic, important concept. It's one of the things Ogard talked about a lot. Yes, these three things you should remember. And one of them is getting rid of your worst place piece. Which one is the worst place piece here? Well, yeah, you guessed it, this guy. So why not jump here with a decent position, I think. And the good thing is you have time, because this one is protecting here. So b4 you just take. What the fuck is that? Okay, sorry. So knight f5, yeah, would have been better. Queen c8 looks good. f3, taking away this square. And one more thing, it's white is preparing to attack d5. It doesn't look like the move a computer would like, to be honest. Another idea is to prevent the knight from being exchanged, maybe by putting it on b5. We talked about that earlier. You could sometime make an argument for having a knight here. So a good move here could be this move with the idea to get here and here and maybe get a great attack in that aspect. The knight on b5 would be pretty annoying. So this is an option. f3. I will probably play that as well. They are seniors. That's the kind of move we play, controlling squares and preparing something without being just under attack immediately. And he takes the pawn, and I don't know. I don't like that move. Strategically, this is a very sharp position. Going pawn hunting looks dangerous. You're not gonna get that pawn all the way to a winning endgame, I think, in this kind of position, no matter what. So looking for counterplay is better. And again, I think knight f5 was definitely called for. So knight f5, and we have still again we have an interesting position. I prefer white, but black is in the game. You could argue for that was why bishop e2 was good, because then knight f5 you can go knight b5, and you would like to play knight d6 even as a pawn sacrifice, because this bishop would be a monster. Okay, he took that one, and white took back. I don't really like it, but okay. I'll probably play ace4 first, but okay. Here, white is following a simple concept here, just attacking the weakened pawns on the king side. It makes a lot of sense. And here's a strategic important concept for you. When there are opposite colored bishops and pieces on the board and attacking chances, it's very much in favor of the attacker. Because when you have opposite colored bishop, you have much more firing power, because this guy works on the black squares. This guy is colorblind, can only work on the white squares. So if you can attack on the black squares, you will simply have a piece more on. So when you have opposite colored bishop, always try to go for the attack. Good idea. h4. And this looks weird, but it's kind of, I think, I don't know. I don't like it. I think he had to do something else, trying to get some counterplay in a different way than this, because it becomes too easy for white to just get the pawns on the king side. But okay, Christiansen is starting to say, okay, I can sacrifice my king side, because then I will have open files against and maybe this one against your king here. But it's a little bit too optimistic, and it doesn't really work. So the white of course takes and does have clear pawns more, and in the long run, black now for sure has a very bad king. The question is if you can sort of exploit it. Another thing, by the way, with opposite colored bishop is that strong players tend to be extremely good in these kind of positions. It's really where the megastars shine. A guy like Carlsen is just excellent, and it's just the subtleties of material versus attack versus the opposite colored bishops drawing tendencies when there's no attack is interesting. All is natural, and here I think this maybe, I don't know, King F2. Maybe you can go D4. It looks natural, and you just, I think White needs to sort of make sure that this bishop is not part of Black's counterplay. If he can do that, I think he will win rather easily. He's a pawn. He's not a pawn up, but he does have a much better structure, and the Black King is very bare. So something where he gets this guy out of the game would win. This guy is not possible to log out. It will always manage to get in through some squares here on the king side. This guy is just waiting for his moment to shine. Queen A4, and the counterplay starts. And White is and Queen here, and here, and this was surprising. Because we just talked about attacking and so on, and he decides to exchange queens, and that's probably wrong. That's probably wrong. You should not have exchanged queens here. It does, while still have the advantage, but it will become more difficult. I think maybe just, I don't know. Something like this, and slowly, and you should definitely give the check and get Black's structure to be messed up. Put the rook on the H file. Get this bishop to the king side, and Black's king should have problems. You can also even sometimes switch to the C file. No matter what, you just have to keep this guy safe and go after this guy. This is basically White's idea, and Queen D2 is making it easier for Black to keep his king safe. Of course, a guy like Copian, world-class player, likes this kind of move because it's now clear that we only play around 2 results. After this, only White can win, but his chance of winning have become smaller. And and D4, and of course White is clearly, I don't know if he couldn't play it. I think I think here Rook F4 makes sense, and getting down here. Rook H1 looks fine. There is some here. And Rook C4 looks natural as well. You could also argue for something like Rook F7, just to prevent the Rook, because the Rook here only has one way to go into the position. By the way, this is probably a strategic concept that you have this piece. This piece is of course will go for this square. This is clear. You needed to play King D7 on this one, even though you're going into this diagonal. That's pretty obvious. This Rook also needs to join the attack. Which way can it do that? It can do it in this square. Otherwise, it will have to go the long way around. And even if this bishop controls this square, it will not be easy to start an attack. So you also need the bishop to join. And how do you get that to join when the d pawn come running and so on? It's not so easy. So I think you can argue that preventing this Rook from getting into the game, he's trying to do the same. But the thing is, maybe White now has a chance to exchange the Rook. Again, we are having a sort of a standoff where the guy who gets to attack the other guy wins. and at the moment this bishop has the both bishop looks bad, but this bishop is probably more bad, but it doesn't look bad at the moment, but white is trying to make it look bad. King e3, and this is wrong for sure. It gives away the wrong squares. You need to do something here to sort of. White does have the better structure on the king side. Maybe just something like this followed by this to fix the problem with the rook here. So getting this rook trapped on d4 was not optimal for sure, and I think. Yeah, maybe it begins to look a little bit drawish. F4 is definitely wrong. Definitely wrong. But here it's important for black to play a very important move. So yeah, important. Well, anyway, the thing is with F4 played, the structure have changed. Suddenly there is dynamics in the structure, meaning this is introduced. Actually, it's introduced immediately because after this move and something like this could be made due to this bishop here. So a lot of things just happened. So black, but at the same time, these pawns were controlling this bishop. So they are not, which they are not doing anymore. So black is ready to exchange everything. And how do you do that? This move would have been the good move, because also this square got lost on the way. And if the rook moves, you give check and you play d4 and you will get a lot of counterplay. So and you're ready to exchange all the rooks here. The opposite color bishops is very drawish no matter what. This is just, you can't break through because you don't have any breakthroughs. And black can easily defend. Just more or less put the king on f7 and he cannot never lose, or e8 or something. Anyway, so this was a mistake. This was typical, of course, going for counterplay with a3, but unfortunately white had f5, and this of course is what you have to look for. You have to look for these kind of possibilities, and now it's a problem. You can also take first. Now it's a big problem. Take and rook h7. This was the idea. The problem here is after something like this, I think actually this move is really annoying. Because you can't cover the bishop, and suddenly you're in big danger of, and this is a big threat, and so on, and something you can't cover the bishop because this runs into this move, and the pawn will queen. So suddenly tactics flare up here. You could also argue that this is pretty dangerous, and something like this is probably very unpleasant, threatening mate again. I still think this is probably winning on all circumstances, but rook h6 is the easy way. Rook h7 was black's idea. If you take here, this is a very easy draw. No problems in the opposite color bishop. This just controls everything. There's no way you can win this, even though the computer thinks it's +1 something. It doesn't matter. It's a draw. Rook c1, and this is so there is another way to attack. Very typical. The bishop is under attack here, and it has to take. And here comes a great move again. Destroying black's coordination, and that's often key in these kind of positions. Look for moves that destroy the opponent's coordination, make him have to make moves he do not want to make. that's really what you're looking for. If you can force him to play a move he really would like not to play, then you're usually on the right path. And this move is really annoying again, because the king cannot go near the rook, and if the bishop goes and you get this kind of pawns, we see that there are a lot of troubles. You have to go bishop e8, nothing to do, and rook c8 again. Very annoying concept. If you move the king, you just get these pass pawns. So something, well, this loses immediately, I think, to e7, because here there's this move with the typical skewer there, skewer. Okay, f4 natural move still, and this is also another example. You don't want to put the rook on a passive square just defending the bishop. It's always a sign of something gone really wrong, and here white can take the pawn. It's a pawn up. The problem is not so much the pawn. If black was sort of out of the mess, he would be and could control the white squares. He would be fine. The thing is, he cannot. He does not have. He can't get the rook, because if he moves the rook here like he wanted to, then e6 picks up the bishop. So he has to go to even worse square, rook e6. All nasty stuff. Rook d8, very nice little move. Again, rook, he's getting ready for rook d6 maybe. He may be getting ready for rook takes d5, but also getting out of the bishop d7, getting out of the way. Bishop c6 look natural, but problem is king comes up, and black is getting into zugzwang here. He tried this move probably in time trouble, and e6 is the winner. You can't take due to this, and the rook is lost. And this nice little move, and black resigned. Again, this is winning, king e6 and bishop e7 and so on. So a very nice game, many mistakes on both sides. It should probably have ended a draw, and in the end white showed some great class in the opposite colored bishops. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give me your feedback in the comments. That would be nice. Thank you for watching. We are here to